shaking, crying. I thought I was having a heart attack. Turns out it was an anxiety attack. The paramedics had to come and take me to the hospital. I thought I was dying. I thought I was dying. And it was at that moment that I realized, what if I had died? What if at that moment, at that school, me running down to the superintendent's office during my lunch break, where I wasn't being paid for, where I had a supervisor who was just, I mean, the epitome of evil? What if right then and there, at that superintendent's office, in that office, I died? What would have happened then? Who would have taken care of my child?
Bonjour, mes amis. No, there is nothing wrong with your sound. Can you believe for over 7 minutes I was recording and my mic, that tiny evil microphone, was not turned on? So I know these Vlogmas vlogs have been very raw, but this takes raw to an entirely new level. Even with me saying I was not going to edit, I still took about an hour to put this train wreck together. So, si tu play, bear avec moi. Tyler, I was answering your question. I did the best that I could, but I'm I just have to laugh at this point because I was standing outside on the streets of Paris for about 30 minutes or so recording, wanting to get this done so that I can stay consistent. I love you all, and right here is when I realized that my mic wasn't on. Let's get into this random vlog.
I hope you all could hear me. My mic wasn't on that entire time I have been talking. Oh my goodness. If it was very low at the beginning, just turn the volume all the way up. I told you this Vlogmas, one shot, one take. So, oh my goodness, I am mortified. This is unfreaking believable. Bonjour, mes amis, and bienvenue to one of these days of Vlogmas. C'est moi, Jessie, a resident Francophile, and here on Cappuccinos and Consignment, I focus on lifestyle, travel, and finance. S'il vous plaît, take a moment to like, subscribe, and follow. Follow me over on Insta. I have a blog, and on both TikTok and Insta, you will have to search for moi because I am not always on your feed. I am very, very just disturbed right now. Let me make sure I'm not doing it again. Very, very disturbed right now. I did not want to have to re record this. I was hoping that those 6 minutes that I was talking, not realizing that my mic was off. I was hoping that the volume was just low and not totally missing. That's very troubling. I already have issues remembering to press record here. Now I have to remember to make sure my mic is on. If you are new here, we are spending these 25 days of Vlogmas essentially getting to know mes amis and yeah, just random things. Because I am not a traditional holiday person, my vlogs are not holiday based. I am just so, I have to get over it. I have to let it go. So I am going to read the question. Also, I am in Paris, if you could not pick up on that. I really cannot believe that 7 minutes, 7 minutes went unrecorded. I was recording, but this mic wasn't on. And I have to use the tiny mic. Please, forgive me if it gets loud. I have to use this tiny mic because my voice, I lost my voice some time back. So now that it has, once it returned, whenever I get a little cold, I'm not trying to adjust this. There we go. Anytime I get a little cold, it's the first thing that goes. I really don't even know what I was talking about during those 7 minutes. So this is going to be a very bizarre vlog. Part of my 25 days of Vlogmas was just explaining to Mazami that I'm not doing major edits. It's very, very labor intensive to produce vlogs, edit, and post them on the same day. So that's just not an option right now. Also, with me taking the courage to not edit, that's a very, very big deal because I do have speech I don't know what we call them now. What's the politically correct version? Delays, impediments. I don't know. We had a very mean name when I was a little girl, but I do very long pauses to keep from stuttering or stammering on my words. And typically those are things that I edit out, but we have been very one as of late. And I thank you all so much for your support when I shared that and how me not doing major edits, I was really scared about that. I was very, very scared about that. So let's get in today's question from a dear Mazami. Taylor. I'm loving these vlogs and their topics have been so good. I feel like these have been things I have been thinking about and talking with friends and family. I would like to hear your answer on how not to lose yourself as a mother, etc. So this was just so timely because here I am, iPad sans kids. I don't have any of my children, avec moi. I don't even have my spouse. And guess what? I do not feel bad. I do not feel bad about that because I know the importance of remembering who I was before I ever had a child. Just sadly, we live in a society where whether you are a single parent, whether you are married, whatever your family dynamics is, for the most part, women are always the default parent. It does not matter if you are the breadwinner. I'm not editing that. It does not matter if you are the breadwinner, if you are a stay-at-home mom, whatever it is, for the most part, traditionally, women are always the default parent. Women are typically always guilted into feeling that no matter what they do, it's not enough. I can say that here because of how much I travel, I get mean messages. Oh my God, there she goes again. She never takes her kids with her, this or that. I never hear people say that about men. Men travel a lot for work. It's oh my God, he is taking care of his children. He's, going away to fight a good fight, to get those coins, whatever it is. It is socially acceptable for men to do certain things and not women. So it takes you realizing that the only opinion that matters about your parenting is yours. You have got to remember who you were before having a child or who you want to be. Who you were before having a child may not be who you want to be, but you can always change. You have got to make time for yourself. You cannot pour into people from an empty cup. I know that sounds so cliche, and I can't remember right now where the second part where my mic was on, where it picked up. So, désolé, forgive me if I'm repeating myself. I'm just a bit disturbed right now. But I feel like I shared a part about my mare, how I grew up. I grew up seeing my mother sacrifice everything, everything. And not only her, all the women who why do I still have this AirPod in? God, I swear I'm going to scream if this is somehow affecting something. Okay, if that hadn't worked, I was just going to go live because I'm like, I need to go. I have just been posted up here on the streets of Paris. So I grew up seeing all the women I knew sacrifice everything for their children. So that's what I did. When I had my first child, that's what I did. I sacrificed every single thing in me because that's what everyone else did. Everyone, I never saw, and you all have to understand too that I was a mom before hashtag self care. If you were a mother during the time when I was, and even before that, times have changed. Are they where they need to be? No, but we are much closer and much farther than where we were. So growing up, I never saw my mare take care of herself because she gave everything to us. If she had any little thing, whenever she may have gotten a bonus from her job or anything, she spent that money for us. If I wanted a pair of rollerblades or a tricycle, whatever it is, she would not have so that I could have whatever frivolous item I wanted. That benefited me, yes, as a kid, but it did not benefit me as an adult, because when I grew up, I thought that that was normal. I thought that I thought it was very normal for a mother to just not take care of herself. You didn't do anything for you because it was all about your kids. I saw the mental and physical toll that that took on my mare, just being this martyr, being someone she should not have had to be. And once I became a mother, and I feel like the voice came back in when I was sharing about my mental breakdown, and I realized that if something happened to me right now, life would still go on for everyone else. But here I am, I have worked myself to death, literally. Not taking care of myself, not going to doctor's appointments, but scheduling everything for the kids, not doing any of the things that I needed to do for myself because I was pouring into someone else. You can't do that. You have got to take care of yourself. You've got to. You cannot lose yourself. You were so many things before you were a mom. And God, I wish I could remember what is recorded on that second half. But I can tell you, me being here right now, Apari, is showing my daughter that her life isn't over when she becomes a mom. And that's something that bothers me when I look at social media, that we are really in a state of scarcity mindset. It's very this or that. Either you're jet setting, or you're, just, I don't know, in the kitchen baking cookies or something. One has nothing to do with the other, and one doesn't make you less effective at the other than anything else. And that is something that I never saw. I never saw that as a kid. No one, I didn't have that example. So one of my biggest goals, I'm so sorry. I got you in the video. Sorry. I'll turn it. Oh, it's no problem. Okay. One of my biggest goals in life, even before I got on social media, was to show my children that even with them, I could still be who I was. And it is something that is not going to always be met with open arms, because everyone's going to have something to say about what you do. But trust me, here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. And I think I shared my mental health breakdown. I'm going to end this here. I hope when I patch these videos together, just going to put them together. So, from a very personal experience that I have had, I was on the brink of a mental breakdown. I was on the brink of a mental breakdown because I was overly concerned about the things that other people had to say, and their opinions and perceptions of what a mother should be. I got to a space where I felt that I was losing my mind. I know we say that loosely, we use that term, oh my God, I'm going crazy, I'm losing my mind. No, I felt that I needed to check myself in somewhere, because I was attempting to be supermom. My son has been on the bone marrow transplant list since he was a toddler. I'm not editing that. Since he was a toddler, I was working multiple jobs. I was in school. We were in poverty, and I still was trying to do everything. I was wearing myself thin, to the point that things got so bad for me mentally and emotionally that I pretty much collapsed. My body physically was still able to show up, but mentally, I was not there at all. And I remember just being so afraid, because it was something, and I've tried to just mentally block that out. I remember it being a very, very small decision that I needed to make for Juju the camera kid. And I was at the school board. It was a very small decision. I don't think this is the right analogy, but let's just say, oh, do you want him to start the program today or tomorrow? And I broke down, shaking, crying. I thought I was having a heart attack. Turns out it was an anxiety attack. The paramedics had to come and take me to the hospital. I thought I was dying. I thought I was dying. And it was at that moment that I realized, what if I had died? What if at that moment, at that school, me running down to the superintendent's office during my lunch break, where I wasn't being paid for, where I had a supervisor who was just, I mean, the epitome of evil. What if right then and there, at that superintendent's office, in that office, I died? What would have happened then? Who would have taken care of my child? Who would have done all the things that I was killing myself, not being facetious, killing myself doing? Who would have done that? It was at that moment when I realized I cannot put me last. Because if I can't show up for myself, if I can't be healthy, if I'm not well, I cannot provide for anyone else. People will call you selfish. People will call you any and everything, but that doesn't matter. You have to protect yourself. You cannot lose who you were. I pray that you are not at that cusp that I was, to the point, in insanity. I hope that you never reach that point. And you inquiring about this shows that you are being proactive. I didn't have anyone I could talk to at that time, because any other mother I knew, they were the super moms that I was idolizing, that I was, doing my best to be. What they were going through behind closed doors remains to be seen, but I know how it affected me. You have got to remember who you were before you had kids. If you, I'm trying to think of things while I'm, if you were someone who loved concerts, make sure you go to a concert. If you were someone who enjoyed bubble baths, traveling, perhaps traveling, in the manner in which you did prior to kids may not be an option, but do something small as getting a safe place for your children to stay, whether that's your spouse. I don't know your support system, spouse, friend, whatever it is. Take a road trip. If a road trip is not an option, get on a bus. I can tell you this, before I was financially able to be a party like every month, I remember having a babysitter for Juju the camera kid. His grandmother, his maternal grandmother, came up for 4 days and kept him. I took a bus, BUS. I took a bus from Washington, D.C. to Toronto because I needed to show my passport. I needed to feel that I was worlds away. I needed that. I will never forget, I paid $48 for that round trip ticket. It was the longest ride ever. Do I recommend it? If it will save yourself mentally. But do the things that you did before you were a mother. You cannot lose who you were. And I can tell you that your kids will appreciate that. I look at Juju, the camera kid, who's now 16, when, there were just things that I didn't even think he realized or that he cared about until something happens. One day we were walking down the street, and a Mezamid came to me. They knew who he was. Oh my God, Juju the camera kid. And one of the women said, "Do you realize that your mother is like famous or something?" Maybe that's a stretch. But she said something along those lines. Juju the camera kid turned to her and said, "Not only is she famous, but she's helping so many women all over the world." I almost flatlined, because here it is, my teenage son, who I thought could care less or had no clue with what I was doing. Not only did he see what I was doing, he realized the impact. And this is deeper because he's on the autism spectrum. So he sees that. He realizes, and I mean, it's too late at this point to even adjust it, but he sees this. He realizes that. And it meant the absolute world to me. Even dear baby Chena, our wild child, our newest addition to Cappuccinos and Consignment. She sees the things that I do, and she loves it. She gets dressed. I love seeing her take care of herself. That was something that I didn't see my mare do because she was so busy pouring the little bit that she had. She didn't have much, but the little tiny bit that she had, she was putting it into us. So she didn't buy herself new shoes. She didn't buy herself nice dresses. She didn't even buy herself nice lipstick or anything. Everything she did was a sacrifice for us. So I didn't know what to do. When I became a woman, I didn't know certain things. I just did not know because I didn't see it. I didn't see anyone else doing it. So you have to realize that you're up. Oh, you have to realize that you are the first example for your children. When your children look back on their lives, a lot of their points of references, I'm not editing that, are going to be you. This is how my mother handled things. This is how my mother did things. I don't know if you have boys or girls, which it does not matter, but show your children that it's okay to take time for yourself. Show your children that self love matters the most. Show your children that always evolving, being creative, being whatever it is, show them that that matters. Let your children see you taking care of yourself because a lot of times we don't practice what we preach. We're telling our children to do this, do that, but we're not doing it. And for the most part, people do what they see, not what they hear. So be an example. Be an example. You deserve it. It does not make you selfish. It does not make you a bad mother. It does not make you anything. I do not feel bad right now. I just finished FaceTiming with baby Chena. I do not feel bad. I will see her when I see her. Okay. I am still about to go get a bottle of wine, get back to the hotel. I need to see how far I am, get back to the hotel and enjoy this time. Because when I return home, I'm going to be a better person. I am going to be, Bonjour. I am going to be more relaxed. I am going to have more life experiences to pour into her. And not only that, she's going to see this. She's going to see, I remember, oh my goodness, my mom working all around the world, my mom doing this, doing that. She's going to remember those things. And you all know I still get so nervous recording in public. She's going to remember those things. And if I'm the woman I am from the small tidbits I got from my mare, imagine the woman she's going to be having me as her mother. And that's not to boast or brag, but look at the example she has. Look at the example that she has. Do the same thing for your children. You deserve it. You deserve it. I am here for you. I put my phone up. Please forgive me, Tyler Taylor. I feel like it was Taylor. Tyler. That always mixes me up. But I love you, dear. You are loved. You were a lot of things before you were a mother, okay? Remember that. Remember who you were. And if that isn't appealing to you, who you were, the woman you were before you were a mother, if that's not the woman you want to be, become the woman you want to be. Do what you need to do to get to that place. You have decisions to make, you have choices to make, and it is possible. Every single day that you wake up, you have a choice to make. Am I going to continue living in regret? Am I going to continue not putting myself first because I'm so worried about what my mother's going to say, what my aunt's going to say, my mother-in-law, whomever? They're going to talk about you anyway. Spoiler alert. No matter how great of a mother you are, they're going to talk about you, how dry your chicken is, how, there was dust on the lampshade. They're going to find something to talk about you with. Give them something to talk about, okay? Give them something to talk about. And not only that, give other mothers an example of what it looks like to still be who you are. In spite, despite, I get those mixed up. I'm not editing that. You get the point, girl. Okay, so I need to find out what hotel I'm staying in or where I am because I've never stayed in this neighborhood before. And yeah, I love you dearly. Consider, if it is possible, consider booking a one on one call with me and not just you. Anyone who is in that space where you are just trying to figure out what's next, consider booking a one on one call with me. I am ending the year with calls pretty much based on just getting things together for 2024. So I love you all dearly. I am going to take in the sights, enjoy being a mother who is out here living her best life. Okay. If I can do it, you can do it. Alrighty. Ciao for now.